Divine imperfection. I want to dive into this paradox today. Divine imperfection. How could imperfection be divine? And just playing with the words, it's so simple. I'm perfection. Of course that's divine. Imperfection, I'm perfection. Now this paradox though, that everything that has happened, everything is perfect. And holy crap, if I really look at it, I can see how I could have made different choices every time and it would have changed everything. And so then how could it be perfect? I failed at everything. And I want to look at this today and explore this because it's been coming up. It seems like it's one of the new maxims as well, along with I always have a choice, I feel to heal. The only thing that's constant is change and everything is a story. Divine imperfection. As I look back on life, I keep looking, going, oh, I screwed this up. And it's not just hindsight. It's not just hindsight going, oh man, now that I know this, I could have done that. Rather, sometimes it's looking at the whole idea even that there is a perfect choice, a right choice, a good choice. And I love it. Yesterday or the day before, I was talking with my dear sister Icy, and she was saying, I want to align with the intention of the universe and not knowing what that is. And I thought that was so profound and so simple. It's like, I have no idea what the grand design is. I have no idea. And so then what is actually good, what is bad, what is aligning, what's not aligning? I don't know. And I love that I was listening to Bashar this morning as well. And he was saying a similar idea where it's like, he's like, I don't actually know if I channel an extraterrestrial. I don't actually know what this is. But his own perspective and belief is that it is. And he doesn't need anyone else to agree with that belief. And that's part of it sometimes when we're trying to get someone else to have a consensus belief that it's true. So coming back to divine imperfection. Over and over again, I've had conversations recently looking at the imperfections. And over again, I'm getting better, especially in my own intimate relationship, about apologizing for automatic reactions. Can I both apologize for saying, oh, sorry that happened, and realize that imperfection was perfect, and realize it's part of the growth and the trust, and looking back at things and saying it was perfect the way it happened, and it's perfectly imperfect. And I'm willing to see the imperfection, because if I'm not, then I'm only willing to keep doing the same thing to perpetuate the belief that what I did was so perfect before that I shouldn't change it. And I've said this, and I can't remember where I heard it from first. Like, if I'm doing the same thing 2 years from now, then smack me, because I'm not actually growing. I'm just stagnating. And noticing when I judge someone else where they're at, it's funny, like when someone's like, oh, you're doing it wrong. It's like, wait a second. When I was at their stage, I was doing something similar. And that's what I love about taking a look at reading old tech CEO letters and what they were saying back then, as opposed to the new narrative of what they were doing back then, because it can actually show the challenges they were going through, that almost everyone hit a point where it almost ended. And that's part of it for right now. For me, I had an almost ending point when I was 30, when I burnt out from being a medical doctor, when I was suicidal, when I was depressed. I had an almost ending point when I got in a car accident, a major one, and then another one, and the motorcycle accidents. And I'm recognizing each of us has these exit points, if we can really acknowledge them. These points where we almost died, near-death experiences. And if we can leverage them, use them as part of the divine imperfection, we can actually shift. Because the divine imperfection sometimes comes from the idea of an external imperfection, rather than the internal one that we can see all the time. That's the one that actually hurts, when I'm more aware and attuned to it, and that no one else can actually solve for me, because it's an internal state. And that's where the freedom and flow come from. Freedom and flow come from whatever comes up. I'm just being with it. Knowing that I have all the power in the world, especially with selfishness, to change it. So here I am in Hong Kong at sunrise, divinely imperfect. I could never have imagined I'd be here and appreciating this land in this way at this time of day too. I used to wake up at 3 p.m. Divine imperfection, I slept in all those days, so I really appreciate the sunrises now. It's that contrast, right? Divine imperfection is part of that contrast, that paradox. Without the flipping of the polarities, I wouldn't feel this the same way. Just be like, this is just how life is. This is just how sunrises are. And then with the heat and the cold contrast, the divine imperfection of all that, that this mugginess is a beautiful thing. So now I'm diving a little too deep. I want to create this first. There's a divine imperfection in creating these videos the way they are right now. They're not perfect, they're not polished, they're not short. And it's helped me to crystallize the ideas because I want to get clear on the message that's going out there so that I'm not just trying to amplify old messages. And some of the messages will be old. What I love about it is Eric Godsey reminded us, don't just plan on releasing something perfect. Release, release, release. And as you're releasing, allow the perfection to be created, and then people can see the process, and then they can be inspired by the process, because that's part of it. How do we inspire each other so that none of us are trying to do this all on our own? I was thinking that the other day, I'm both completely unique in my value proposition, and oh my God, it's amazing, and I'm completely indispensable, and I'm completely dispensable. If I didn't exist, everything would still exist without me. So remember, take a breath today. Remember, it's all divinely imperfect. Ciao for now.